Hello everyone, welcome to Pratham Test Prep. My name is Ashish Bhargav, and here we are here for the another episode of Daily News Analysis. Before we start, कैसे हैं आप सब? Please let me know if my voice is audible. Am I visible to each and everyone? Am I audible and visible? Okay, so very first thing that happy Teachers Day for everyone, right? So daily newspaper analysis mein what exactly we discuss about important news from all major newspaper that we covered in this session, but majorly we discuss about the Hindu and Indian Express. So once again happy Teachers Day to everyone. And what exactly we discuss newspaper analysis? We discuss about national news, international news, economic based news, summits and conference, and apart from that we also discuss about Supreme Court verdict, any amendments, any bills which in the parliament. This is also we discuss in newspaper analysis session. And here is the questions of the day. We'll ask you the 5 questions, so at the end of the session. Stay tuned till then. And here is quick tips, means that we'll discuss with the help of mnemonics, because GA having a lots of subject, right? So with the help of mnemonics we'll learn lots of things. And here is the very first article. Here we talk like World Bank hikes India's economic growth projection to 7% for financial year 2024-2025. So in that context we need to understand the World Bank. The establishment of World Bank is after the Bretton Woods conference. So after the Bretton Woods conference the World Bank was established. So Bretton Woods is a place in USA, and after this summits that World Bank and IMF was established. So the World Bank has forecast a growth of 7% for the Indian economy for the current fiscal year, and upping its earlier estimates of 6.6%. So in its report, India Development Update, India Trade Opportunity in a Changing Global Context, that is released on the Tuesday, and the World Bank ने उसमें ये चीज़ बताई कि इंडिया का जो growth है that continued to be strong despite a challenging global environment. So the World Bank growth projection is in line with those of International Monetary Fund and Asian Development Bank. So here the two organ, that is World Bank and IMF, the major difference is that the IMF having parameters for like if any country falls on the PMNA list, like prevention of money laundering just a second, no, it's FATF list, that Financial Action Task Force, then the IMF is not willing to loan to that country, but World Bank there is no such parameters for that. So India Development Update observed that India remained the fastest growing major economy and grew at a rapid clip of 8.2% in the financial year 2023 and 2024. The growth was boosted by public infrastructure investment and upswing in household investment in real estate. So reflecting these trends, as we can see in this graph, that is 7%, 8.2%, 7%, 6.7% and 6.7%. So reflecting these trends, urban unemployment has improved gradually since the pandemic, and especially for female workers. It said while female urban unemployment that fell to 8.5% in early financial year 2024-25, and urban youth unemployment remained elevated at 17%. So India's robust growth prospect along with the declining inflation rate that will help to reduce extreme poverty, and World Bank country director in India, that is here Auguste Tano Comene, that said in the press conference here. That is you need to remember this. Now the next article here is talking about the Law Commission. So Center constitute the 23rd Law Commission. What exactly the work of the Law Commission? So generally in news that we want to cover, the Center on Monday that modifies the constitution of the 23rd Law Commission for a period of 3 years. For the period of 3 years. So that the decision of Supreme Court and High Court judges are the chairperson and members. The 23rd Law Commission for a period of 3 years, and the term of 22nd Law Panel that ended on August 31st. So according to law minister order late on a Monday night through a gazette notification, the panel will have a full-time chairperson and 4 full members. So that means the law commission consists of a full-time chairperson, and second thing that we can say 4 plus 4 full-time members, include member secretary. The Secretary of the Department of Legal Affairs and Secretary of the Legislative Department, that will be ex officio members. There cannot be more than 5 part-time members according to the order. It's said to the chairperson members who are serving judge of Supreme Court and High Court shall perform their functions on a whole time basis up to the date of retirement from the Supreme Court and High Court or expiry of the term of the commission, whichever be earlier. So the time spent by them in the performance of such functions as chairperson member of the commission will be treated as actual service. So the order noted that in case the other category of the person are appointed as a chairperson of full-time members, and the chairperson will be entitled a pay of 2.5 lakh per month in case of members. So that is a main work of law commission. Now here we go to the next article. Here, despite ICC warrant for arrest, Putin gets red carpet welcome in Mongolia. Russian President Vladimir Putin that received a red carpet welcome on Tuesday on a state visit in Mongolia, whose failure to arrest him under a warrant from the International Criminal Court. So here ICC, not International Cricket Council, here is International Criminal Court, that was criticized by Ukraine as below against justice. So dear friend, ऐसा क्यों हो रहा है देखो. So after decades under communism with close ties to the Soviet Union, अगर आप देखें जिस टाइम USSR का टाइम मैं आपको बता रहा हूँ, so Mongolia transitions to democracy in the year of 1990s का टाइम में, right? And उन्होंने एक build किया relations with the US, Japan and new partners. But the landlocked country remained economically dependent on its 2 much larger and more powerful neighbors, Russia and China. So Mongolia जो है is on the planned route of a major pipeline that Russia wants to construct in order to carry 50 billion cubic meters of natural gas a year from its Yamal region to China. So an International Criminal Court arrest warrant issued last year against Putin that obliged the court 125 member states, including Mongolia, that to arrest Russian president and transfer him to the Hague for trial, because there is a headquarters of International Criminal Court in The Hague. So Mongolia's failure to act on it was a heavy blow to International Criminal Court and system of criminal law. Ukraine Foreign Ministry spokesperson that Huril Thaikil said an ICC warrant accuses Putin of illegally deporting hundreds of children from Ukraine. Now the next article here is talking Supreme Court gives bail to Aam Aadmi Party's Vijay right to liberty. That political news is not much important, but here we need to understand कि Supreme Court ने विजय नायर जी को यहाँ पे जो आम आदमी पार्टी के communications in charge थे, where he was arrested in a money laundering case that linked to alleged Delhi exercise policy scam, underlining that right to liberty is sacrosanct and bail should be rule and jail is the exception. So the right to the liberty here, that is right to liberty under Article 21 of the Constitution, that of the Constitution is sacrosanct right, which needs to be respected even in case where stringent provision are invoked, and the petitioner has been in custody for 23 months and is incarcerated as an under trials in a bench of Justice Rishikesh Roy in SVN Bhati. So there cannot be mode of punishment without a trial becoming commenced, and the universal proportions of bail being the rule and jail being the exception will be entirely defeated if the petitioner is kept in study as an annual under trial for such a long duration. So this is all about the session, and Now here the third article is the harm principle, how John Mill's theory defines the extent of liberty. See, John Mill states that liberty can be restricted only when our action cause harm. If any act that you that you injuries another person, you cannot be punished for it. But that brings us back to the fundamental questions: what really constitutes harm? So a few days ago, a minor girl was gang raped in the Dhing area of Nagaon district, Assam, alleged by 3 Muslim men. As an anger over the horrific incident and against the community escalated, the chief minister, that Himanta Biswa Sarma, who has called Muslims or communal organizations in the past, said he would not allow Mia Muslims to take over all of Assam. Mia Muslim is a derogatory term that used against the minority of Bengal Muslim community. So the objection to Mr. Sharma statement is twofold. First, कि पहला वो chief minister है who took an oath and saying he will be bear true faith and allegations to India's secular constitution, and second, by making such remarks, his denigrating an entire community and furthering an already deeply rooted bias against them in a state which has suffered ethnic violence. Some may argue that Mr. Hemant Biswa Sarma is exercising his right to free speech. While free speech is a fundamental right, the constitution allows for certain reasonable restrictions to it. Others may argue that this is hate speech. There are many provisions in Indian laws that criminalize offences characterized as hate speech. However, hate speech is not defined in the Indian legal framework. So the word hate speech, the word does not mention in the Indian legal framework. So the harm principles, in order to understand free speech and extent of which it can be restricted on control either by society or by the government. So it is worth revisiting the 19th century philosopher John Stuart Mill. Similar work on liberty. Mill's work is the bedrock of what we refer to today as liberalizations. So यहाँ जो मिल साहब थे, he believed that the true societal happiness that can be achieved only when people are free to exercise their choice. He argued for the minimal state intervention in the exercise of liberty, arguing that the only power that can be rightfully exercised over any members of civilized community against his will is to prevent harm to others. This is called the harm principle. So to put it theoretically, Mill separated our actions into two categories: self-regarding actions and other regarding action. Self-regarding action affect only the individual and not others, while other regarding actions affect others or society. So however, this distinction is not always clear. We can argue that all our actions affect the people around us or society at large. So for instance, if a person develops a drinking problem, he may not be harming anyone else, but his excessive drinking may be causing immense stress to his family and he could be turning emotionally and physically abusive. So जहाँ पे एक केस था like नवतेज सिंह जोहार versus Union of India. The Supreme Court of India buttressed its conclusions that the state cannot criminalize homosexuality by recalling Mill's theory. Freedom of speech and expression की बात करते हैं. In short, Mill said liberty can be restricted only when our action cause harm. But that brings us back to the questions: what really constitutes harm? We could define harm as an act that makes a person worse off because of another person's actions, but this is still tricky terrain. If a family or a doctor decide that a terminally ill patient who has been bedridden for 40 years is better off dead, will their decision constitute a harm, or will it help the patient by putting an end of her suffering or an indigence? Is harm also only physical? Nowadays we have many debates on the harm caused by disinformation and misinformation. So Mill, being a libertarian believed that there must be complete freedom of thought and expression. He argued if all mankind minus one were of one opinion and only one person were of the contrary opinion, mankind would be the only more justified in silencing that one person than if he had power, would be justified in silencing mankind. So false belief provide us with the opportunity to constantly defend our beliefs, making sure that they remain a living truth rather than dead of dogma. If it is only when our beliefs are constantly challenged that they are strengthened, and if we disregard an opinion which is actually true, then we would be deprived of knowing the truth and correcting our false views. This seems logical when the potential harm is apparent. But what happens when Bengal Muslims are referred to as a Mia Muslims and constantly dehumanized with the potential harm not immediately clear? So according to Mill's theory, it could always be argued that it's not right to completely ban it since we could be deprived on the shade of opinion. At the same time, allowing hate speech could psychologically harm a group that could even incite the group to violence. Now the next article, PM visit to Brunei, Singapore to focus on trade and technology. So, building trade and technology ties with the top of the agenda of the Prime Minister Narendra Modi lands on the Bandar Seri Begawan, the capital of Brunei, that is Bandar Seri Begawan, that is Brunei capital is Bandar Seri Begawan, that is Bandar Seri Begawan, the capital of Brunei, on Tuesday as a part of two-nation tour this week, which will also take him Singapore on Tuesday. So Brunei, he expected to meet with the Sultan Prime Minister Hassan al Bolkiah, जो यहाँ के Prime Minister हैं, that is Hassanai Bolkiah. The world that monarch and India and Brunei will sign a MOU on space cooperation to take further their earlier 2018 cooperation into agreement on satellite tracking. In Singapore, Mr. Modi will meet with the new Prime Minister Lawrence Wong, who has sworn in May this year, and the two leaders that will witness the signing for 4 agreements on semiconductors, digital cooperation, healthcare and silking. So the one is that semiconductor and digital cooperation, healthcare and skilling. So the visit of the two ASEAN members country is a contrast in many ways. Although India has had his historically close tie with both country that were once under British occupation. Singapore is India's 6th largest trading partner. It's largest in the ASEAN region. जो Brunei has the lowest trading figures with India. Singapore is also the single largest source of foreign direct investment in India, and officials have been trying to improve trading figures with both countries by being 2009 ASEAN India trade in goods agreement, which is AITIJ for several years, especially in terms of reducing tariffs. In light of India's Act East policy and outreach to maritime neighbors in the region, as well as the country culturally linked to India with a moderate religious philosophy. जो ब्रुनेई और इंडिया का बायलैटरल ट्रेड है दैट अराउंड $500 million का है, दैट इज इन द पास्ट डिकेड. And in recent years, as India began to source more Russian oil and gave up oil imports from Brunei, and officials said they would discuss increasing India LNG intake from Brunei. India and Brunei are also discussing initial moves on defense cooperation, beginning with the setting up of joint working group. So Brunei had given a valuable support to India on space cooperation, referring to the earlier agreement that allows India to operate ground stations to help its space launcher and satellite operation. और अभी तक आपको एक फैक्ट्स ये जाननी चाहिए कि मिस्टर मोदी इज द फर्स्ट इंडियन पीएम टू मेक अ बायलैटरल विजिट देयर. law does not allow raising of homes of accused. It proposes framing guidelines for action against unauthorized structure to ensure authorities do not take advantage. Solicitor General defend UP government against the retributory demolition. Supreme Court on Monday questions that bulldozer of homes and private property of persons accused of crime or even their relatives by state as a possible act of public retribution, saying that law does not permit the destruction of the family shelters of even convicts. और अभी जो हमारे सॉलिसिटर जनरल हैं वो है तुषार मेहता जी. सो यहाँ पे how can anybody's home be demolished because he is an accused in the case? The law does not permit that. Can it happen even if a person is a convict? No. So bulldozer justice will not be meted out anywhere in the country. And Justice Vishwanathan said that top court wasn't trending to lay down uniform guidelines on a pan-India basis to streamline the procedure for identifying unauthorized structures, issuing notice to persons concerned and giving them a fair hearing and subsequent action. If we lay down guidelines, even digitalize the process, neither authorities nor the persons concerned can take advantages. He is a Solicitor General Tushar Mehta for the Uttar Pradesh government, which has been blamed for retributionary demolitions. Now we move to the next article. Is ICC warrant for arrest. Putin gets red carpet. Already we discussed. And here is trick to remember the G7 country is Jews with GF. So J stand for Japan, U for USA, I for Italy, C for Canada, E for England, and GF for Germany and France. And here is Shanghai Cooperation Organization. Trick is the India struck in a square in Pakistan, India, Tajikistan, Russia, Uzbekistan, China, and Kyrgyzstan and Kazakhstan. And here we solve the questions of the day. The very first question, which is the following institution is responsible for leading retired sports person empowerment training, that is RESET program, launched on National Sports Day? That is the right answer, Lakshmibai National Institute of Physical Education. So RESET program launched on National Sports Day is spearheaded by Lakshmibai National Institute of Physical Education. The initiative focused on empowering retired athletes by providing them with career development skills to enhance their employability. A premier institution dedicated to a physical education and sports. Which of the following countries is not a member of G7 group? And G7 group is Russia is not a member of G7 group. Before 2014, Russia was isolated from G7. So group of 7 founded in 1975, formerly called Library Group. Group of 6, group of 8, Reversion as an intergovernmental organization. But of 7 of the world's largest advanced economy. It includes Canada, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, United Kingdom and United States. Which of the following countries is the world's largest producer of gold? And the answer is here, China. China is the world's largest producer of gold. China is the world's largest producer of gold, consistently leading global productions in recent years. And country has invested heavily in gold mining and has vast reserve that contributes significantly to its production capacity. And China dominance in gold production highlights the strategic focus on resources extraction and its influence on global commodities market. National Sports Day, celebrated on August 29th, commemorate the birth anniversary on which Indian sports legend, that is Major Dhyan Chand, C is the right answer. National Sports Day is celebrated on August 29th every year to honor the birth anniversary of Major Dhyan Chand, one of the India's greatest field hockey players, known as magician of hockey. Dhyan Chand's remarkable skills and achievements, including the 3 Olympic gold medals, have made him legendary figure in Indian sports history. Amnesty International is an international organization composed of volunteers who campaign for human rights. The organization is known for publishing reports on human rights abuses worldwide. Amnesty International is a governmental organization operating under the United Nations. So statement 3 is incorrect. Statement 1 is correct, as Amnesty International is indeed an international organization composed of volunteers who campaign for human rights. Statement 2 is correct because Amnesty International is well known for publishing detailed reports on human rights abuses around the world. And third one is incorrect because Amnesty International is a non-governmental organization and operates independently, not under the United Nations. So this is all about the session, dear students. Once again, happy Teachers Day, and if you have any questions, please let us know in the comment section. Please share this session to your friends and family. And once again, if you are new to the channel, please subscribe our channel and do not forget to press the bell icon. Thank you so much for joining with us. We'll meet you in the next session. Till then, bye bye and take care.